They thought they could bury me under a $139 bogus charge. But they had no idea. I held the power to cost them over $100,000 a year. Sometimes, the smallest injustices spark the biggest consequences. What started as a simple phone plan mix-up spiraled into a David versus Goliath battle that would change an entire city's budget and teach a corporate giant that some customers bite back harder than expected. My wife and I had just gotten married. And like any newlyweds trying to merge our lives, we decided to combine our phone plans. MetroTel seemed like the obvious choice. The sales rep was all smiles, all reassurances. He promised us an unlimited plan for $70 a month, all in. Taxes, fees, everything. I was crystal clear, no surprises. Just $70, period. 2 days later, my heart sank. I logged into my account and saw a bill for $139. Almost double what we'd agreed on. The first customer service call should have been simple. There must be some mistake, I said, calmly. But the voice on the other end might as well have been reading off a script written by robots. Activation fees, taxes, surcharges. Suddenly, every excuse in the book was valid. And my explicit agreement with the salesperson meant nothing. I want to cancel immediately, I said, my patience wearing thin. And I want this bogus charge waived. They could cancel, sure. But keep the money. Absolutely. Oh, and if I canceled now, my wife and I would lose our phone numbers forever. Numbers we'd had for years. Tied to our work, our family, our lives. I was trapped. Or so they thought. Since I was stuck paying for the month anyway, I decided to play the long game. I researched alternatives, found a carrier called Visible, and planned my escape. For days after the setup, I called MetroTel again. Ready to cancel. Still hoping for that refund. You're not entitled to a refund, the second rep said flatly. You had 3 days to cancel for a full refund. It's been 4. My blood boiled. On day 2, they denied me the refund. Now, day 4, they claimed I'd missed some magical 3-day window. One no one mentioned before. I'd been lied to, manipulated. And now I was being lectured about fine print. Get me your supervisor, I snapped. The customer retention specialist who answered was different. Genuinely apologetic. Understanding. Human. He listened. He acknowledged I'd been wronged. And he promised to make it right. Don't worry about the bill, he said. I'm waiving the entire amount. You shouldn't have been put through this. I hung up, feeling vindicated. Thinking the nightmare was finally over. 1 month later, another MetroTel bill landed in my mailbox. Payment overdue. Late fees applied. Round 3 of phone calls led me back to customer retention. But not to the kind man from before. This woman was smug. Dismissive. Almost amused by my frustration. She put me on a 10-minute hold. Dead silence. Then came back with the promise to escalate my case. I'd hear back by the end of the week, she claimed. 2 weeks passed. Nothing. When I called again, the 4th rep was sympathetic. But brought devastating news. I'm so sorry, she said. But the bill has already been sent to collections. I can't reverse it, but I'll send a letter to the agency to have them waive the debt. Don't worry, this won't affect your credit. Famous, last words. 6 months later, a letter showed up from Sequiem Asset Solutions in Georgia. They wanted their $139. Now. I fired back. Certified letter, demanding debt verification. A legal requirement. Their response? Radio silence. 2 months later, a gut punch. A negative mark on my credit report. I fought back, again. Wrote to all 3 credit bureaus, demanding removal. Thank God, they all complied within a month. But just when I thought it was over, another agency, Sunrise Credit Services in New York, picked up where Sequiem left off. They'd sold my debt like a hot potato. Passed their problem down the line. More certified letters. More legal demands. More silence. What MetroTel didn't understand was, this wasn't about the money anymore. I'm lucky enough that $139 doesn't break my budget. I'd already lost 5 times that in hours, phone calls, and postage. But now, I was fighting on principle. David, refusing to let Goliath walk away unscathed. And then, the universe handed me the perfect slingshot. I'm an elected city councilman. I help review our municipal expenses. During one routine budget meeting, a line item caught my eye. MetroTel was charging our city almost $6,000 a month for phones, internet, and TV. Across all departments. For a small town like ours. Highway robbery. Had they treated me with basic honesty and respect, I might never have looked twice at that number. But their months of lies and stonewalling had created their worst nightmare. A customer with a grudge. And the power to act on it. I dug deeper. Worked with our city manager and IT director to explore other options. What we found was staggering. We could cut our costs in half. And get better service. 2 weeks ago, it came to a vote. The resolution passed unanimously. We were cutting all ties with MetroTel. The financial impact? They lost a $72,000 annual contract. But that was just the start. After finalizing the budget, the total savings? $108,000 per year. But the real victory wasn't just dollars. With the money we saved, we were able to hire another part-time employee for our desperately understaffed animal shelter. MetroTel's greed had accidentally helped save more animals in our community. Poetic justice, they never saw coming. Sometimes, the smallest acts of corporate arrogance create the biggest consequences. MetroTel thought they could bully one customer over $139. Betting I'd give up and pay, just to stop the harassment. They didn't realize their target had the influence. And the will, to cost them 6 figures. In their relentless pursuit of money they couldn't rightfully claim. They lost a contract, damaged their reputation. And proved that some battles just aren't worth it. And every time they send another collections agency after me, I think back to the look on my fellow council members' faces. When I showed them how much we'd saved by cutting MetroTel loose. So the next time a corporation tries to bully you with fine print and false promises, remember this. Sometimes, the customer is right. Sometimes, the customer has more power than they think. Stand your ground. Fight for what's fair. And never let them make you feel small. After all, you never know when a $139 phone bill might end up costing someone $108,000.